Cool story, bro. Hey, there's a hashtag out there that's hashtag CoolStoryBro. And this is usually used for stories that are totally irrelevant to people, but somebody feels like telling the story anyway. I'm going to say this morning that there are no stories that are irrelevant. They might not interest you, but every story you hear impacts you in one way or another. Let me give you a few examples. You'd be surprised at how many stories you've heard or seen or been near that have sunk in, and that you can draw associations way back in your past just off of a few simple phrases. I've got a bunch of examples here. I'll go through a few. How about, I'm not the kind to kiss and tell, but I've been seen with Farrah. Okay, that was from a TV show called The Fall Guy. To be fair, the theme song got a lot of radio play too, just like Believe It or Not, I'm Walking on Air from The Greatest American Hero. So good songs tell a story, and good stories stick with you. Perhaps even the not so good stories will stick with you a bit. Let's try a couple of these. There's a fifth dimension beyond that which is known to man. It's a dimension as vast as space and as timeless as infinity. It is in the middle ground between light and shadow, between science and superstition. It lies between the pit of man's fears and in the summit of his knowledge. This is the dimension of imagination. It is an area we call the Twilight Zone. Did any of you guess that before I got done reading it? Okay, how about this one? In 1972, a crack commando unit was sent to prison by a military court for a crime they didn't commit. These men promptly escaped from a maximum security stockade to the Los Angeles underground. Today, still wanted by the government, they survive as soldiers of fortune. If you have a problem, if no one else can help, and if you can find them, maybe you can hire the A-team, right? These things, once you hear them over and over and over, they tend to sink in. And the stories you read on Facebook, the stuff you see on YouTube, Netflix, whatever, it tends to stick with you for quite a while once you've put it in there. Once it goes in your noggin, it's in there. And I would encourage you to just stick with stories that are edifying, stuff that is good, stuff that is wholesome when you can. Yeah, everybody likes their action-adventure flick every now and then, and nobody knows what's in a piece of content until you actually watch it. But it's best to guard your heart and guard your mind, because those are both gifts from God, and you have to use them every day to be able to make a difference in the world. How about this one? Dr. David Banner, physician, scientist, searching for a way to tap into the hidden strengths that all humans have. Then an accidental overdose of gamma radiation interacts with his unique body chemistry. And now, when David Banner grows angry or outraged, a startling metamorphosis occurs. Well, if you don't get that part of it, how about Mr. McGee, don't make me angry. You won't like me when I'm angry. Okay, that was from The Incredible Hulk, and that was clear back in the mid-'70s. And some of you have probably seen it in reruns. Some of you probably watched it live as a little kid like I did. Still, it's in there, and you'd recognize it right out of the gate. There's shows out there that are playing currently. Let's start off. My name is Oliver Queen. You can figure that out if you watch that show. My name is Barry Allen. When I was a child, my planet Krypton was dying. I was sent to Earth to protect my cousin, but my pod got knocked off course, and by the time I got here, my cousin had already grown up and become Superman. That's from Supergirl, of course. For decades, there was a show on that started off, in the criminal justice system, the people are represented by two separate yet equally important groups: the police, who investigate crime, and the district attorneys, who prosecute the offenders. These are their stories. That's been on the air forever and in syndication. It's amazing to me the stuff that you retain, and I don't think we have a full realization of how what we retain actually impacts us further in life. And if some of these have seemed vague or stuff you've never seen, how about Space, the Final Frontier? These are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise. How does that have any useful application in your life? It doesn't. You might enjoy the show, but that's about it. Myself, more than anything, I love a good story. Not more than anything, but it's one of my favorite things. That's why I'm writing. That's why I like watching certain things on TV or on Netflix. That's why great movies really appeal to me. A good story is always something that can stick with you. And you know, I don't want to cool story bro anybody. Their story is important to them. And if they are going to take the time to tell it to me, then I need to pay attention to it, just like you need to pay attention to other people when they want to tell their story to you. So I would encourage you to do that. And I've got a couple of more, and then I'll leave you with a final thought here. Hi, I'm Chuck Bartowski. Here are a few things you should know. Remember that? Like sands through the hourglass, so are the days of our lives. Some of you housewives and other people like stay-at-home dads may recognize that one. I could go on and on and on. I had 3 pages of these that I could go through that just pop out at you. But you know what's cool? The best story ever told is in print millions and millions of times in hundreds of languages and available for free online. I've got an app on my phone where I can see the best story ever told. And it starts off in one part of it with John 1:1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And read John today. It's an incredible story, and that actually has practical application in your life. With that, be encouraged, friends. Be blessed, and we will see you here soon.